Hey, what's up, Chicago? It's your Mayor, Brandon Johnson. We're here for the annual Bike to Drive on a beautiful day. It's Labor Day weekend. Just want to send a message to the rest of the world. This is not a hellhole. We're building the safest, most affordable big city in America, and we're doing it together. Let's get it.
There appeared to have been some kind of large gathering overnight. Chicago police confirming that 5 people were shot near 36th Street and Cottage Grove. Officers responded to the area around 1 o'clock this morning, I should say. Police say while they were on scene, officers heard gunshots and moved to the area of gunfire.
All right, well, I want everyone to take a wild guess. What do you think liberals spent their Labor Day weekend doing? Let's first reverse by establishing what normal Americans would do on Labor Day. Spend time with friends and family, enjoy college football, heck, just sit back and relax because normal people work actual jobs. But of course, we know that liberals are not normal people. They are far from mentally sane in any way. And so if you answered, they spent their Labor Day, their day off, protesting Donald Trump and screaming for absolutely inconsequential results, you would be correct. As a matter of fact, here is just one example outside Trump Tower in New York City where Democrats are so proud of this. They're saying to themselves, yes, as the national conversation around this party surrounds the fact that they need to relate to normal people. We need to stop having this image that we're like some type of strange radicals or that we're not like normal individuals. This is, of course, what they think normal people do. But yes, welcome to the Democrat Party.
That is amazing. Thank you, everybody. Our marshals will help keep people safe and help keep space for passengers.
As I said, just totally normal people representing a totally normal party. You're dragging out geriatrics from the nursing home who are completely confused. They don't even know what decade it is. A bunch of strange hippies, people who are unemployed. This is America, guys. Don't you know? Look, New York City is rising up. This means, guys, that Donald Trump is losing politically speaking. Yeah, of course, we know the typical pathetic show. But in today's video, I don't want to just react to the Democrat protest, although we're going to show you some of that. I want to further highlight the irony, specifically out of a city like Chicago, where Mayor Brandon Johnson joined in today to hold this big protest against Donald Trump federalizing or sending National Guard or federal law enforcement or whatever to crack down on crime in the city. Not just because Democrats are once again picking the positions that do not relate anywhere to normal Americans, such as crime is good, crime is not a problem. We're actually going to go out on Labor Day and protest in favor of criminals. But on top of that, the deep-seated irony behind all of it, as of course, while this protest is happening, this very city of Chicago was rocked by a arguably maybe even historic crime spree and mass numbers of shootings, right? So this is literally the story. As the mayor, as the Democrats are saying, no federal troops, crime is good, it's not happening, don't you know crime's at 30-year lows, guys, all these arguments. What do we have? The actual residents of Chicago being victimized by the very fact that you have Democrats, not Republicans, not Trump. Democrats apparently think it's okay, it's funny, it's a good gotcha to play politics with their lives. And yes, that is exactly what is going on, because everyone knows, guys, it is common sense. Hey, being tough on crime is a good way to, fight crime, right? This idea of, more police doesn't make us safe, racism, all this stuff. That's all this is, guys. Political games. I want to show you that. I want to talk about Brandon Johnson and, highlight the greater theme here that Democrats in so many ways just refuse to back the opinions of normal people who both want to enjoy Labor Day and do not believe that crime is a good thing. We will tell you all about it. First, though, do us a favor. If you enjoy our content, make sure you hit that like button down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Subscribing, guys, is not only the best way to support our videos, but it also ensures that you can stay up to date with all of the latest news and coverage. And with that said, if you don't believe me, If you think that I'm exaggerating the irony and the ridiculousness of this situation, here is Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson earlier today, speaking at this Labor Day rally, screaming to the crowd, "No federal troops in the city of Chicago. We're going to defend our democracy in the city of Chicago," right? This was what the protest is all about. No feds in our city. And here you go.
No federal troops in the city of Chicago. No militarized force in the city of Chicago. We're going to defend our democracy in the city of Chicago. We're going to protect the humanity of every single person in the city of Chicago.
So we're going to stand for democracy, despite the fact that Brandon Johnson has one of the lowest approval ratings in this country. I think it's actually 14%. But he refuses to step down despite the fact he's massively unpopular. He's going to defend the people of Chicago, but apparently not from criminals, right? Just from the federal government, just from the United States. But the criminals, right, that's fair game, according to Brandon Johnson. So you basically get the picture. Again, keep this theme in mind. As they say, no feds in Chicago. You're about to see the fact that the feds are completely justified in coming into Chicago. But that said, we of course got more just totally normal and patriotic behavior from Democrats. Here is, of course, protesters at this very event waving Mexican flags, putting Viva Mexico, right, on a protest that's supposed to apparently be about American politics. They say they're defending American people here. And yet, perhaps this is the reason. This is the very reason why they don't want federal troops in the United States to actually clean up the crime of the United States, because these people are not advocating for the welfare of the United States. But of course, that just tells you everything you need to know. Check it out. Yeah, so again, guys, they're just advocating the values of normal Americans, don't you know? Normal Americans want to advocate for foreign countries, right? They're going to protest at an American protest saying, Viva Mexico, right? But apparently they always want to Viva Mexico, but they never Viva en Mexico, which means they don't go to Mexico. They don't live in Mexico, okay? They care so much about this country, according to them, because they're not even just saying Viva Mexican people. They're saying Viva Mexico, the country, and yet here they are, like thousands of miles away in Chicago, protesting on American streets. And apparently, number one, this is not more than grounds for deportation. Okay, I don't even care if you're, a citizen, right? It's just the genuine case to be made. What are you doing even in this country if you care so much about Mexico, according to your own words, right? But of course, right, this is what normal Americans really stand for. They, of course, support other countries over their own. They don't like patriotism. They obviously want to go protest on Labor Day, and they also support crime, right? So you can see the Democrat Party here just doing a fantastic job, of course, of, standing for what everyone really believes in, Donald Trump's the one who's unpopular, guys. People are turning against Project 2025, and this is the proof of it right here. Because you have self-admitted foreign nationals, whether it's on paper or in their heart, that's what's going on here, right? Protesting on behalf of another country. This is indicative of the opinion of the American people, guys. Okay. Of course, it should not be surprising, but we also see even the teachers union here getting involved in Chicago. To which I, first of all, asked two questions. I mean, number one, what exactly does federal crime policy have to do with education, right? As usual, you see these union activists who are supposed to be representing the children, right? That's what we're all about. The teachers are just doing a good job for the education, advocating and spending their union dollars and time on causes that have nothing to do with education, many such cases, right? Serious conflict of interest here going on with public unions, but still, nonetheless, forget that for a moment. Apparently, does not actually care about the safety of the very children that they teach, right? Again, it's all about playing politics with the actual lives of the people of Chicago. So that said, here is the president of the American Federation of Teachers, Randi Weingarten, spending her Labor Day weekend not advocating for children or students, but instead raving and ranting against Donald Trump, talking about apparently Tesla and Target. Okay, take a listen.
Labor, are you ready, Chicago labor, to fight? arrows. Whether it's Tesla or Target or Valor, what has happened in this country is that the billionaires don't understand that this country was created in protest and in resistance to fight off a king, not to recreate a king.
Right, but of course, guys, remember, conservatives are completely conspiratorial when it comes to education. There's no crazy lunatics educating your children. We don't have national leaders of educational labor unions talking like this. They're just standing for the children, guys, don't you know? Yeah, very typical. But of course, recurring back to the original theme here, this all comes at the backdrop of Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson himself over the weekend, not just doing a pathetic protest screaming about Trump, but actively signing an executive order to limit Chicago authorities from working with federal law enforcement and to try to stop Trump from sending the National Guard. So keep this in mind, right? The National Guard debate is one thing, but when it comes to federal law enforcement, you're talking about things like drug busts, seizure of illegal or smuggled guns, right? You could be having discussions of human trafficking, many different things. The mayor of Chicago, apparently just claiming that Trump is so bad and crime is good, is not just saying no National Guard. He doesn't even want Chicago police to cooperate with entities like ATF, FBI, right, NSA, all DHS, all of the things that actually have to do with, cracking down on gangs, stopping very heinous crimes and all that. He's saying no. Just keep this in mind. As we sit here and say that Democrats support crime, which they literally do, a lot of people are going to try to argue, no, that's not true. No, you're exaggerating. No. Here you literally have them doing exactly that. And as we'll show you in a second, here he is signing that very executive order.
I'm signing an executive order today that will launch the Protecting Chicago Initiative. This is a project that builds on the months of preparation that we have done, that has led up to this very moment. This order affirms that the Chicago Police Department will not collaborate with military personnel on police patrols or civil immigration enforcement. We will not have our police officers, who are working hard every single day to drive down crime, deputized to do traffic stops and checkpoints for the president. We do not want to see tanks in our streets. We do not want to see families ripped apart. We do not want grandmothers thrown into the back of unmarked vans. We don't want to see homeless Chicagoans harassed or disappeared by federal agents. And so this executive order makes it emphatically clear that this president is not going to come in and deputize our police department.
Yeah, so as he says, we don't want to see X, Y, and Z hypothetical situation that is not actually what is happening or going to happen. But perfectly fine. Apparently, he does want to see the true reality of his own citizens being brutalized by criminals. Because again, as we're going to point out to you, the stark contrast here, this is like liberal imagination versus actual reality. Of course, what was happening over the weekend? While Democrats are literally going out there and protesting, claiming that Trump is bad for wanting to stop crime in our city, they're arguing that crime's not a real problem. It's at 30-year lows. People are not criminals. No human being is illegal. All of this nonsense. Take a look at what's going on in the very city of Chicago, of course, on Labor Day weekend. And this is one of, I kid you not, over 50 examples in the same city in the same span of 3 days.
In Chicago, everybody got to get down. Everybody got to get down because they shoot. Everybody down.
Mayor Johnson, you are a f***ing coward. A real life coward. You worry about the people that's coming out there to help y'all have masks on the whole while mass vigilantes are running around shooting mother football games up, you pussy. I never trust a nigga with a mohawk. A grown-ass man wearing a mohawk can get the that's all he can get from me. Big don't nobody respect you, ain't nothing going your way. Do you realize you are not gonna be mayor? You gonna become a regular citizen. What the you gonna do then? Huh? You really sold your people out. This is why I love it, because I want our people to wake the as to who's been guiding our cities. These major cities, they all black ran. Every last one of them. You got the kids laying down and kids running for their and they supposed to be playing football and having a good time at the park, but they can't because needles and bullets everywhere.
Chicago police say 7 people were shot in the Bronzeville neighborhood. We're told a group of people were standing outside around 11 o'clock last night when a car drove by and someone fired into the crowd. The victims include 5 women and 2 men ranging in age from 28 to 32 years old. All were shot in their lower half of their bodies. They were taken to the hospital and all of them are expected to be okay.
Yeah, and as I said, there are quite literally over 50 examples of this. This is not just one incident where saying, haha, look, we're dunking on you, Brandon Johnson. No, as you can see, according to ABC News, 53 people were shot over the weekend in Chicago. Ironically, as the governor's running around spending all this time rejecting Donald Trump's threat to send in the National Guard. As the speaker in the first video quite so eloquently put, the majority of these victims, by the way, are also black residents of Chicago, which is very pertinent to remember here in a second, because we're about to hear his justification as to why it's racist, apparently, to crack down on crime. But as he points out, no, the very people being victimized here, but apparently that's okay. According to Brandon Johnson, it's okay when black people are victimized by each other. But when the National Guard or federal troops or heck, your own freaking police, like you could do something too, try to stop the crime. That's racism. Don't you know, like not shooting each other apparently is a white supremacist construct. Again, this is what Democrats apparently seem to think. This is why I say they're playing politics with people's lives. And, you know, it's interesting because that's always what they say to us about gun control, even though which is just a crux, frankly, for them to just retreat from the fact they don't have an argument. But in this case right now, that is literally what they're doing, because they're objectively just defending the fact that there's crime because they don't want to admit that Donald Trump is right about something. That's it. That's it. We've seen cases, by the way, of Democrat politicians in the past few years trying to do their own crime crackdowns. It's only bad, though, when Trump does it, right? Looking at you, Kathy Hochul, for instance, sending in the National Guard to secure the New York City subway because there was a rise in violence. But when Trump does that in D.C. at Union Station, oh, that's fascism, right? So anyways, the violence, of course, came as Trump criticized the governor's handling of crime. Gee, you don't say. Again, ding, 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 guys. Okay? J.B. Pritzker, Brandon Johnson. It's not complicated. But of course, so what's the excuse going to be now, by the way? Because, of course, they keep using these manipulated crime statistics that are admittedly fake, right? You have the D.C. situation. You have the fact that most major Democrat cities don't even report their crime to the FBI in the last few years. But what's your reaction to this, Brandon Johnson? Is this also fake? Can I ask that question, right? Did this just not happen? The 53 shot? No, that's a right-wing conspiracy theory from ABC News. Really? Really? Of course, this might also explain, by the way, why there's such a significant disconnect between Democrat activists and politicians versus the ordinary people on the ground actually living in the situation. Because newsflash, normal people do not like crime. And whatever it is about this liberal savior complex, we actually do like the crime. That's not a representation of how people feel. Newsflash.
My first reaction was that this is a good thing. I think that the governor as well as the mayor should be on board with it just so we can get a bit more of security in Chicago the way that we need.
The crime has dropped since 2024. Do you feel like the city feels safer?
No, not at all. No, especially with the police being defunded.
Hey, I didn't say it. She said it. And of course, you listen to the follow-up from the CNN reporter. This is what Democrats all keep saying. Anytime a normal American who actually lives in the country, in a normal part of the country, expresses concerns over their safety, what do they say? Well, as the CNN reporter stated, crime is down from 2024. How could you possibly feel unsafe? Okay, first of all, we don't even believe that statistic. But even if it is true, okay, and what was crime in 2024? Was it high or low? Oh, it went down 2%. Therefore, you must be safe. Okay? Random black resident in a black neighborhood. Trust me. The Democrats in the ivory tower, they know what they're talking about. You are perfectly safe. Now, we won't go to your neighborhood. We'll never one step foot in there. But trust me, everything is fine. We know about you. No, we're the ones protecting you from Donald Trump and the evil Republicans who want you to stop getting shot in the streets, who want there to stop being robberies and constant theft and carjackings and crimes and all these things, all these issues all over low-income neighborhoods. They're the bad guys, don't you know? Yeah. So needless to say, it doesn't seem like this argument is ringing very true. Again, as we read a headline at this, a headline like this, I should say, at such an ironic time in our country to be seeing something like that, because Brandon Johnson told me the city's perfectly safe. And same thing with CNN, by the way. Hey, crime is down. Hey, how could this happen? I thought everything was fine, right? But okay. So that said, I guess the question is now, how can Democrats possibly continue to justify this? How can you keep on saying that crime is not a problem when literally the irony of that, right? As you're protesting, the city is being taken aback by a massive crime spree and a massive shooting spree. Well, of course, let's hear the very answer from Brandon Johnson, which is, of course, guys, this is always what they revert back to. You want to crack down on crime? You want to make America safe for people of all colors, but in this case, disproportionately, actually, black people in the inner city? How dare you do so? Don't you know it's social justice to have them live in constant danger and squalor and poverty, apparently. Take a listen.
All of this pushback against Trump, knowing how he responds to that, could actually provoke him to follow through with this talk about sending in the National Guard when yesterday he seemed to waffle. Could this make things worse, all this pushback?
Could you imagine if, as a descendant of slaves, if my ancestors would have had that same rationale? Let's not fight against the Confederacy. Let's just try to get along, and then maybe one day they'll give us our freedom. Nowhere in the history of America or the world where marginalized people have sat silent and idle, and they've been able to actually achieve justice and liberation. The fact that you have a unified front in Chicago, where we are rejecting the occupation by the military of our cities, that's actually fighting for our democracy. That's what's required in this moment. Leading in this moment takes a great deal of courage, but we stand on the shoulders of so many people that have come before us. We have seen these type of tyrannical acts before. One thing that we know for sure, when we fight back against tyranny, the people united always prevail.
Tyranny, marginalized people. Well, that's an interesting statement. Okay, first of all, Brandon Johnson, who are the people being tyrannized and marginalized right now? Because according to him, it's not the very people who are getting shot in the city of Chicago as a result of the soft on crime policies of Johnson. And by the way, I would argue that to be a form of tyranny. It's an actual term. You can research it, anarcho-tyranny. It is something that the left knows very well in the social science circles. Let me just say that, because they want this for people. Where's the liberation on this, huh? So let's not liberate people from very basic issues of human safety, right? Let's not have them live in like safe, clean, orderly neighborhoods. That's not the safety, okay? No, we need to liberate them from the fact that like Donald Trump might have a political victory by lowering crime rates. That's the liberation. Don't you know? Don't you know? Utterly ridiculous, okay? And again, he's all saying this as this here on your screen is happening. How much more clearer can I make it how ridiculous these people are? I think, by the way, about a week after the Chronicle, it is clear Donald Trump was right about the city of Chicago. Democrats were wrong once again. I would say, honestly, give it a few weeks before you get more of them saying, oh, he was right. You know, you want to help? No, but, you know, because, of course, they're going to find out this is not a political winner for them, including even in the very neighborhoods where the people are voting disproportionately Democrat, right? See how this works for you in the 2026 midterms, Democrats, right? See how much you can get black inner city voters to turn out when your message is, yes, we want there to be continued crime. We want the shootings in your neighborhood to continue. We want the looting. We want the carjackings. We know you guys really like this, okay? And, Donald Trump's a racist, apparently. Yeah. So anyways, with that said, guys, let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comment section down below. Be sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Until next time, God bless and peace.